Coach, have a seat.
Very good. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm very good. Thank you.
Welcome to Indonesia. I want to take a moment, first of all, on behalf of the millions of football fans in this country, to say that we are absolutely honored and thrilled to have you joining our Timnas Indonesia and for us to be able to introduce you to everyone here today.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. And I see this kind of images explaining everything also about my team. I'm really grateful to have this opportunity, and I will do the best what I have in my mind to achieve our goals. As everybody saw, the players are on the same line. My team is on the same line, and we're going to go for it. So that's a thing that I can promise.
All right. We'll get into the X's and O's in a little bit, but first, you came and arrived in Indonesia yesterday.
Yes.
We saw the images on social media. There was a huge crowd here to welcome you. What was the first impression that you got when you first arrived here to that sort of a welcome?
Well, we came out of the airplane, and all of a sudden it was easy with a few people around us to protect us. And we walked around, and when we came towards the exit, there it started. We came out, and all the people came out and jumped towards us. And you know, I love the passion. What I said also in the video, and it dedicates also and to see how the spirit is here in Indonesia. And I'm very grateful to get my philosophy back to the people.
Absolutely. So a lot of enthusiastic fans, but luckily they gave you time to arrive at your hotel. You checked in.
Yeah.
Had yourself a big meal, I heard, yesterday night?
Yes, we had quite a big meal. I love the food though, so that's no problem. And I can't complain.
Okay, we do know that the Dutch culture and Indonesian culture are very much entwined. Probably not your first time having Indonesian food, so no big surprises for you so far.
No big surprises.
Glad to hear it. So you've been here now this weekend, and let's just get right into it. Congratulations on being here. You're now signed on a 2-year contract with a 2-year option as well to extend. Now, this is obviously an interesting timing of it all. You are coming here in the midst of a third-round battle for us to try to qualify for the World Cup. You mentioned something interesting to me. We met earlier at lunch.
Yes.
And in regards to looking at 4 years, as opposed to just like 4 to 6 months in the qualification, you said you have more of a 2-phase plan.
Yes.
I wonder if you could just explain to the reporters and the guests in attendance.
Yes, of course. What I just said to you was that we have a 4-year plan, of course, but I build it up in 2 pieces. The first piece is to impact and to have results. Everybody knows that we're playing 4 games, 4 finals, and we want to achieve what we want to achieve. And after that, it's to build and to implement. But first, the most important thing is to have result and impact.
Okay, so that is the first phase, and that would be your first goal, to qualify us for the World Cup. In regards to the qualification and what follows after that, and say that you do achieve this goal, what would be the next phase of your plan?
Well, that's what I said. You have to build and implement the way we are going to train, the way we want to achieve the goals that we want to achieve. Also, the under 23 is also very important because in 2 years we play also the Olympics. So there's a lot of things to be done. I'm very committed, and my team is very committed to achieve every goal. And that's the mindset that we need to have all together.
Allow me a moment to translate some of the things that I'm saying. Yang saya nanya adalah mengenai kontrak yang Coach Patrick mendapatkan, yaitu 2 tahun dengan opsi untuk perpanjang 2 tahun lagi. Coach Patrick ini perspektifnya adalah 2, terutama dia masuk sebagai pelatih utama di ronde ketiga di kualifikasi Piala Dunia ini, di mana ada short term goal, yaitu untuk kita bisa menggarap poin dan qualify untuk Piala Dunia. Tapi itu hanya menggunakan sekitar 6 bulan. Sementara setelah itu ada implementasi untuk persiapkan tim kita untuk bisa main di Piala Dunianya. Jadi ini sebenarnya ada dua fase, di mana fase pertama adalah meraih kemenangan, meraih poin, di mana kita bisa kualifikasi. Tapi setelah itu juga sampai 2026, nah ini adalah plan keduanya, bukan hanya sampai 2026 di mana kita akan main di Piala Dunia, tapi setelah itu gimana kita bisa melanjutkan journey-nya untuk Olimpiade atau enggak Piala Dunia berikutnya juga. And I think this is an interesting, again, as I said, an interesting timing for you to come in the middle of the fourth round. On the field, we all know that you are no stranger to pressure. You have faced international pressure, club pressure, and you have performed under pressure. In fact, on the sidelines, you've also faced pressure many, many times. But this is an interesting situation where you come into the middle of the fourth round facing Australia away on your first match, then having two home games that are pretty much must-win situations for us, and then our final one away to Japan. Australia away on your first match, then having two home games that are pretty much must-win situations for us, and then our final one away to Japan. This is a very pressure situation, not just for our players, but for you as well. I'd like to know your perspective on how it feels to be in this situation and how you plan on using your experience in handling pressure to be able to help the squad be able to perform under this pressure as we try to qualify for the World Cup.
Yeah, I'm a person, I like to have pressure, and under pressure I can really perform quite well. The most important thing is that to transmit it also to the players. And of course it is an interesting time to come, and Japan is quite football. Football, you want to be with the best, the same level that than us, and you see on the video how they want to achieve the goal, and everybody needs to stand behind the team so we can achieve it, and everybody's happy. That's the most important thing.
Absolutely. Yang saya menanyakan Coach Patrick adalah dengan pengalaman dia yang sering menghadapi tekanan di dalam lapangan ataupun di sideline sebagai pelatih. Ini adalah sekali lagi situasi yang menarik di mana dia masuk di ronde ketiga, di tengahnya mengkonfirmasi bahwa dia tidak takut sama tekanan dan dia akan menerapkan attitude ini dan cara pemikiran ini, mindset ini ke para pemain juga untuk ASI ini, tekanan ini bersama sebagai satu unit di mana ada beberapa match penting ke depan, mereka akan bisa menghadapi sebagai satu tim. So let's talk a little bit about your experiences. You've coached obviously in various top European leagues. There is a lot of different experiences there in Europe that perhaps maybe our players have not faced or have not experienced. After coaching in various top European leagues, what do you anticipate are the biggest challenges that you will face that is slightly different here in Indonesia as opposed to
can go in the minds of the players, and I think that we have a standard player, the well at the what we want, and to transmit that to the players to achieve the goal as bright as possible.
So you feel that our team, the players on our team, have the potential to be able to adapt to any playing style as long as it's communicated properly through them?
I think so, yes.
Oke, jadi yang saya nanya adalah dengan pengalaman Coach Patrick di Eropa, apakah pengalaman-pengalaman ini akan membuat challenge atau tantangan untuk dia melatih tim di Indonesia ataupun lawan tim di Indonesia Dan sepertinya menurut Coach Patrick dari perspektifnya ini tidak akan jadi masalah karena kalau komunikasinya lancar dan pemain mengerti apa bukan hanya Coach Patrick tapi tim pelatihnya yang ingin di lapangan ini akan bisa dieksekusi dengan baik. I want to talk about the local talents. I mean, you obviously have watched our national team through videos. You've seen our performances. What are some of the promising young talents that you've seen that you feel you can kind of maximize their potential now that you have a role to lead them as their leader?
Yes, of course. I'm new. I need to check also the local players, of course, because I think the local players are the heart of Indonesia. And the other players are, of course, super important, but I think we need to focus very good on the local players and check the quality of the local players, because I think that is hyper important to, implement those players as well, because you want to have also the heart of Indonesia in the team. The quality for me is the most important thing, of course, but yes, in a few weeks I will come back and I'm going to check the local players for sure.
If you feel that the local players are the heart of our national team, with the influx of the diaspora that we have, and we are planning to scout further diaspora, how do you feel their roles mesh together on our national team?
Well, we go with all to the same goal. So the local players and the diaspora players, they need to form one block, one team, and the local players are even as important as the players that come from abroad.
Right. So if the local players are the heart of the team, what would the role of the diaspora players be?
Those are also the heart, of course, because if not, they didn't do the neutralization, they wouldn't come to the Indonesian national team. So everybody is important who I call up for the national team.
Absolutely, and I agree. Menurut Coach Patrick, kepentingan pemain lokal bukan hanya dari sisi talenta, tapi pemain-pemain kita yang dilahir di Indonesia, ini adalah yang menjadi jantung dan jiwanya dari tim nasional kita. Kalau seandainya pemain lokal menjadi jantung dan jiwa dari pemain nasional, dari tim nasional kita, berarti pemain diaspora pun menjadi extension dari itu, menjadi tangan dan kakinya dari timnas ini, dan itu bisa menjadikan satu unit yang sangat baik. Let's talk a little bit about looking outwards. If we zoom out from our national team, we do know that you mentioned Japan quite ahead of us at the group. If we look forward against other teams as well, where do you think the Indonesian national team is at? Where is our level at, and what are we still lacking? In what areas are we still lacking in order for us to compete at a higher level?
Yeah, it's difficult to say because I have not been in the middle yet. So it's very difficult to say what lacking or what are you doing very good. I need to be in the team. I need to work with the team, and if we work with the team, I can say what we can do better or what's already good. So it's for me very difficult to say. Of course, you see the talented players. They have talent, and I know that we can elevate them to a different level. I know that for sure. And that's the thing, that when I work with the players, when we work with the players, they will become better players. I'm 100% sure about that.
Okay. Now, I want to get a little bit technical. I don't want to get too deep into the technicalities, but one of the many questions that everyone is so interested in is, there's a lot of, obviously Dutch football, total football. Everybody loves the Dutch style of playing football. And everybody wants to know what sort of system are you going to implement. So I will save the media one of the questions by asking you. A lot of people want to know, will you be implementing a 4-3-3? Is there a certain Dutch style of play that you will be implementing? Especially now that, as I mentioned, we do have our backs a little bit against the wall here in our next 4 matches.
You know what it is? I think the most important thing is that I like to play attack football. And I like to have the ball possession. I am familiar with all systems. I was in 2014 assistant coach with Louis van Gaal, and we played the same style that we play at the moment. Preferably, I like to play 4-3-3, but it depends where are the players also feeling comfortable in. So I'm first looking at the players, and then we implement any style, because in football you have slight movements and it's the same system or it's a different system. I need to come with a surprise as well, because during when you play football, the system will change, and it's 4-3-3, 3-5-2. The most important thing is that the players understand what to do on what moment, and that's where you're going to make the difference.
Adaptability is
Of
important
course.
as well. Saya menanyakan karena yang pasti rekan-rekan media di sini juga banyak saya udah lihat di sosial media bahwa penasaran nih Coach Patrick akan memainkan formasi apa, apakah akan main 4-3-3 dan yang pasti apalagi dengan posisi kita saat ini yang kita mesti bersaing untuk ngambil posisi untuk langsung kualifikasi dari ronde ketiga, Coach akan menggunakan lebih akan main 4-3-3 dan yang pasti apalagi dengan posisi kita saat ini yang kita mesti bersaing untuk ngambil posisi untuk langsung kualifikasi dari ronde ketiga, Coach akan menggunakan lebih style yang menyerang ya, attacking football, di mana ini juga sesuatu yang dia mengalami di bawahku bisa membantu kita menggarap poin. Because I want to also add on, you mentioned earlier as well about attacking football is something that we do need to implement because there are points for us to be able to try to get this time. It's not. It's a little bit different when we're in the number one at the top of the group and we're just trying to play defensive. We do have to score goals, correct?
If you want to win, you have to score goals, that's for sure. But you have to respect also the other countries and also the qualities of the other countries. But you need to. Your starting position is to respect your own qualities, what you have in the team, and take advantage of every positive strengths that you have in your team.
I'm glad you brought that up. One of the strengths of our team, and I'm sure many people here agree, is our back line. I think our defensive line is one of Indonesia's strengths. But in attacking football, you know, we talked about this slightly a little bit, where if you're playing attacking football, you really have to have a lot of trust in your back line.
Yes.
Is this something that you see as a benefit for us because we do have a strong defensive line, that this is something that will be benefiting your playing style?
Absolutely, it's very important to have a good back three or back four or back five. But the most important thing is that confidence with the ball, because I love to have the ball, and what Johan Cruyff always said, you can't score when you don't have the ball.
Okay. Nice, well said. Saya juga agak coba menggali sedikit mengenai taktiknya Coach Patrick, di mana seandainya Coach Patrick menerapkan style of play yang lebih menyerang, ini juga akan, kalau defensive line-nya tidak kuat, bisa menjadi sesuatu yang jadi bisa di-expose sama tim lawan. Tapi dengan backline, saya juga menyatakan bahwa saya pribadi dan saya juga yakin rekan-rekan di sini setuju bahwa lini belakang kita sangat kuat. Dan saya tanya apakah ini menjadi benefit untuk style of play-nya Coach Patrick. Dan menurut dia, yang penting sih kita saling mempercayai dengan masing. Kalau kita tidak memegang bola, kita tidak bisa mencetak gol. Dan menurut saya itu sangat logika jawabannya. Let's shift our conversation a bit because I want to give our reporters a chance to ask some questions. I want to talk a little bit about Indonesian fans. You touched on it in the beginning. Indonesia passionate. Everywhere that you've coached, I believe you've faced very passionate fans. What is your strategy to be able to basically convey to the team that this is your fan base. It is a huge fan base, and you need to garner this passion in order to motivate your team to be performing at the highest level.
Yes, you're right. But I think that Indonesian fans, what they showed me already, they have an extra passion. I played in a lot of countries, and I saw a lot of passionate fans. But Indonesian fans are, an extra spice, I think, and it's good. And the players know this as well. They play for their country. So the most important thing is that all the fans are standing behind the team, what they do.
Okay.
And we will manage the rest.
Alright, saya juga menanyakan dengan pengalaman Coach Patrick melatih di berbagai negara dan di timnas Belanda, di mana fansnya juga sangat suportif. Tapi menurut Coach Patrick, fans bola di Indonesia ada di level di atas lagi, di mana kita sangat-sangat passionate dan sangat mencintai timnas kita. Tapi menurut dia ini sesuatu yang bisa diharness untuk membuat timnas kita lebih semangat. Tapi yang penting kita bisa menyatu untuk dukung timnas Indonesia. One last thing before I kind of shift, give a chance to some of our friends to ask some questions. In regards to the playing style philosophy, are you going to try to garner some of the local players? You mentioned earlier that you will try to kind of get to know some of the local players.
Yes.
Are you planning on making some visits perhaps, or perhaps talk with some of the local players? What is your plan going forward?
Well, for sure. This evening, I already have a dinner planned with 5 local players.
Okay.
To get to know him a little bit better. So that's already the beginning. And for sure, next month I'm planning to come back here in Indonesia and to see more of the grassroots here in Indonesia.
So you'll be visiting other areas as well? Okay, so saya nanya ke bola di Indonesia dan Coach Patrick, malam ini aja sudah ada rencana untuk bertemu dengan 5 pemain lokal kami dari Timnas Indonesia, dan setelah sebulan kemudian dia akan kembali lagi ke Indonesia untuk tur ke beberapa kota dan bagian di Indonesia untuk lebih memperkenali diri dengan tim-tim, pemain-pemain di berbagai daerah, bukan hanya di ibu kota tapi di luar daerah juga, untuk memperkenalkan diri dan juga lebih mengetahui pemain-pemain lokal dan apa aja yang terjadi di dunia sepak bola di luar ibu kota. One last quick thing, you have played with several, to say the least, world-class players, and obviously you are one of them. What interesting prospects, and I know you might not be able to tell me too much about this, but there's been many rumblings about, I wonder who Coach Patrick will be able to convince to come to Indonesia. Have there been any kind of discussions with anyone? Perhaps you can give us a bit of a teaser or heads up as to what's been happening lately in regards to possible diasporas joining our squad.
I don't know if I can tell it, Mr. President. Well, I personally have been speaking with a few players who can be naturalized to Indonesian passport and everything. So I don't know if I need to say a name, but I am busy with it. I can say one name perhaps. It's Jair Ridawal. Speaking with him, and we're trying to get him naturalized as soon as possible.
Okay, and I think that is one of the obviously
One of the could be more. Eh?
hopefully, and because there's been many names thrown out there, many of us want to know who they are, but obviously that is going to be in your hands and your coaching staff. Yang saya tanya, yang pasti banyak teman-teman di sini juga penasaran mengenai diaspora, sudah ada banyak berita simpang siur mengenai kira-kira siapa yang akan bergabung yang berikutnya di Timnas Indonesia. Yang pasti coach tidak bisa membocorkan banyak nama, tapi sudah sedang ada beberapa obrolan yang berjalan dengan pemain-pemain di luar yang ada kemungkinan bisa bergabung sama Timnas Indonesia. Untuk sementara saya akan break pertanyaan dari saya dulu karena teman-teman di sini udah sangat sabar. Saya akan kasih kesempatan juga untuk beberapa reporter. Tapi ini karena ramai sekali, saya akan mulai dari mungkin dari sayap kanan ya, kalau dari sebelah sana. Coach, I'm going to give a couple of questions out to the media, our media friends, and if kalian boleh bertanya pakai bahasa Inggris, or if something needs to be translated, ada yang perlu diterjemahkan, saya boleh langsung terjemahkan. Oke, mungkin boleh dari sayap kanan dulu, angkat tangan kalau Mbak yang dari barisan kedua dari dari batasan. Ya, thank you. Terima kasih. Ya, Mbak, dipersilakan dari namanya dan dari mana?
Hello Patrick, welcome to Indonesia. I'm Rizky Melia from olahbola.com. I wanna ask you 2 questions. Making a decision to join Indonesia national team is not an easy one to take. If you don't mind to share, what is the reason behind it? And the second is, what kind of working culture do you try to create at Indonesia national team? Thank you so much.
Thank you for your question. I had other initiatives, possibilities to do different things, but I spoke very positively with Mr. Tohir about the possibilities with this team. I see a lot of strength, a lot of stretch in this team to achieve many great things and to work for a country that big as Indonesia with such a quality, such beautiful people. I decided to do this job. And my work method is always positive and work hard. Those are my key ingredients to work with the PSSI.
Oke, sudah cukup, Mbak, terjawab? Iya, boleh, silakan. Tadi ada follow up.
What kind of working culture do you try to create at Indonesia national team?
The work quality, the quality of work.
Working culture.
Yeah, the culture. My working culture is always positive and always, straightforward. I have a team with me with a lot of experience as well. So I try to implement and give the right tools to the players.
Ya, terima kasih atas pertanyaannya. Untuk yang perlu sedikit summary, pertanyaannya adalah apa sih yang bikin Coach Patrick tertarik untuk ngambil role sebagai pelatih timnas Indonesia, dan dia juga lihat pemain dan orang-orang yang sangat mencintai bola di Indonesia, dan ini membuat dia juga semangat untuk jadi pelatih, dan apa dengan kebudayaan Coach Patrick yang akan diterapkan di sini, yaitu kerja keras, dan sepertinya itu yang menjadi benar-benar jadi main part dari kebudayaannya Coach Patrick yang ingin dia terapkan di timnas. Terima kasih atas pertanyaannya. Mungkin Mbak yang di dua baris di belakangnya tadi, ya, yang angkat tangan. Thank you, Mbak.
Hello, Coach Patrick. I'm Melinda from Liputanam.com. My question is, first of all, what is your primary target for the first 2 years in Indonesia national football team? And then the second, I believe Coach Patrick has already seen some of our Indonesian players, especially local players. Do you know one or maybe two players that you find very interesting among all of the Indonesian national team? Thank you so much.
Well, what I told you before, my goal is to qualify, of course, for the World Cup. So the first 2 matches are very, very important. We need to, to be directly sharp against Australia, and after against Bahrain, we need to be as well very sharp. So from the first 2 games, I love to have at least 4 points in the pocket. We go, of course, for 6 points, but we need to respect also the opponent. And the second question, what was that?
Yeah.
Second question about most interesting players that you find very interesting from Indonesian national team.
Okay.
Well, the local players, I like Marcelino. Good player.
Still fresh, the 2 goals on our minds against Saudi Arabia.
But he's not the only one, so...
Absolutely. No playing favorites, right, Coach?
Sorry?
No playing favorites.
No. But he asked me one of the favorite players.
I totally agree. Yang pasti yang dijawab oleh Coach adalah sebenarnya tantangan kita paling besar adalah 2 match pertama yang kita menghadapi, yaitu match pertama di mana kita bertandang lawan Australia, dan match berikutnya di kandang di mana Coach harapkan kita minimal bisa menggarap 4 poin. Idealnya sih kita bisa dapat 6 poin, tapi dengan catatan juga bahwa kita harus menghargai lawan pertama yaitu Australia. Secara kita main di kandang mereka, kalau kita bisa seri kita akan coba untuk meraih kemenangan di match kedua. Dan setelah ditanya ada nggak sih pemain yang menarik buat Coach Patrick untuk dilirik, yang pasti ya Mas Lino ya, siapa yang bisa lupakan 2 gol yang dia baru cetak lawan Saudi, Arab Saudi. Terima kasih Mbak atas pertanyaannya. Satu lagi dari sayap kanan tadi Masnya yang di belakang juga sudah ngangkat tangan, boleh langsung aja Mas.
Hello, Mr. Patrick. First of all, thank you for opportunity. I'm Bima from Uda Salaman and Food Focus Media. I have question. How will you prepare the national team to face stronger Asian teams with higher playing levels? Thank you.
How do I prepare? Well, I prepare the players like every other game. The most important thing is that you need to train good, but also you need to check because a lot of players travel a lot, so you need to have the work and rest period. You need to manage very good. So we have everything under control. The most important thing is that get everything out of one player and train as good as possible. So the tactics are very important to implement.
Maybe if I can add a little bit a follow-up question. I'm also curious as to, is there a different approach that you need to take if you're facing stronger Asian teams, or will you be basically using the same approach no matter who you face?
Same approach, because I'm a trainer who's looking at my own team and look at the depths and the weaknesses of the opponent. Of course, you need to respect the opponent, but they need to also look at us. And we need to look at our strengths to implement that towards the opponent.
Well said. Oke, terima kasih atas jawabannya. Ya, pertanyaannya adalah apa strategi coach untuk menghadapi tim-tim yang kuat di Asia. Dan menurut dia sih justru kita sudah ada kemampuan untuk bisa melawan tim-tim yang kuat di Asia. Dan saya juga ada follow up question mengenai apakah emang ada strategi khusus kalau lawan tim di Asia dibandingkan tim di Eropa. Tapi approach-nya tetap sama, karena kalau tim kita konsisten dengan approach kita dan gaya main kita, ya walaupun kita tetap harus respect lawan kita di lapangan, kita juga harus patut ditakuti. Terima kasih. Oke, mungkin saya boleh geser, kasih kesempatan buat yang di row ini. Ya, Mas, boleh yang berkacamata. Ya.
Hello, Patrick. I'm Ferzi from Kompas.com. Welcome to Indonesia. Firstly, it's a pleasure to have you here. Patrick, how do you describe the scale of your job? You are not just obliged to win on the field, but also to win the hearts and minds of supporters of it. How will you make this passionate fan base even more proud of squad Garuda? And also, you've had the privilege of working with legendary names in world football. Most notably, Luis van Gaal, but also Fabio Capello, Sir Bobby Robson, and Radomir Antic. How do you tailor the European style that you know with the characteristics of our Indonesian players? Lastly, quite a few of our diaspora players maybe are now struggling for game time with their respective clubs, but they are regulars under the previous coach. Will this be an area that we will look at? Does playing time on club level affects a player's chances of playing under your tutelage? Thank you.
Very good questions. I will start with the last one, because that's one thing is very important, that players can say, yes, I'm fit, but what is I'm fit? If you don't have any playing time in your team, you're not match fit. And those are important things. Of course, you need to also have exceptions for a few players in your team. So you need to really scale that very good with the physical coach as well. And you have to have a lot of contacts with the physical coaches of the players playing in different clubs. So those kind of things are very important. It's not only when they come, we just train. No, we need to check really how much they played, or how much maybe some need to rest or some need to train extra. So that's all the things that come on our plate. And I think that's really one interesting thing to see. And we have all that already in our minds. So how are we going to train that? And what was your first question again?
Mungkin saya kasih terjemahan dulu sedikit ya mengenai karena ini pertanyaannya ada beberapa. Terutama pertanyaan yang terakhir lebih menanyakan gimana cara membagi waktu bermain antara para pemain juga. Dan ini sebelumnya juga mungkin saya bisa kasih sedikit bocoran antara saya sama coach sebelumnya, di mana kita sempat bahas bahwa coach juga sempat bahas bahwa main di klub sama main di negara itu sangat berbeda, di mana waktu persiapan juga sangat singkat. Fitness level untuk para pemain juga beda-beda, tergantung mereka sudah main udah banyak di liganya sendiri atau pemain lain yang mungkin masih staminanya lebih kuat, di mana itu semua menjadi faktor-faktor pertimbangan, bukan hanya talenta pemain ini di atas yang satunya lagi. Jadi sebenarnya banyak pertimbangan yang akan masuk untuk ambil keputusan siapa yang akan main berapa lama dan di posisi mana, dan yang pasti coach sama staffnya sendiri juga sudah mempertimbangkan itu semua. Boleh mungkin kasih yang pertanyaan lagi di recap tadi?
Ya, pertanyaan pertama tadi, how do you describe the scale of your job, Patrick? You are not just obliged to win on the field, not to just win points, but to win the hearts and minds of our supporters. How will you make this most passionate of fan base even more proud of Squad Garuda?
Thank you.
Yes, that's a good question. Well, for me, the most important thing is to get the hearts of the fans is, first of all, to win the games, to play good football, attractive football. I think to give the compliments as well to the previous coach, Shinte, who did a great job. It's on me to build on that success even more. So for me, the most important thing is to win the hearts of the people, is to play good, to win the games, and then people can like me or not, but more I can't do.
Absolutely. Pertanyaannya adalah gimana caranya untuk bisa memenangkan hati kami semua sebagai fans sepak bola di Indonesia dan fans timnas Indonesia. Dan jawabannya sebenarnya sangat simpel ya, dan saya juga setuju bahwa ya terutama main sepak bola yang indah, tapi yang lebih penting lagi menang. Karena beliau juga menyatakan bahwa coach sebelumnya sudah membawa kita sejauh ini dengan kerja kerasnya dan kerja baiknya juga. Dan terima kasih atas pertanyaannya. One last question because we're running out of time. I'm really sorry. The gentleman, in the blazer. I'm going to move, to the next row with the turtleneck. Yeah, go ahead. Can you grab a mic? In the front here, second row. Yeah, is it over here? Di depan. Ya, yang tangannya diangkat.
Thanks, Paul, for the opportunity. Hi, Coach. My name is Farhan Bari from CA Today. Welcome to Indonesia. You are officially became our head coach now, and welcome to Indonesia because this population is very fanatical about the football itself. My first question is, just want to make a question to underline what was your consideration to coach the Indonesian national football team, and can you share with us regarding how the process you become a head coach by the Indonesian Football Federation? My second question is, in less than 3 months, we will play against Bahrain and Australia in March the 20th and the 25th. And my question is, what is your first step strategy to Indonesian national team? And is 2 years is enough to complete the target by the Indonesian Football Federation? Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, you could have done it a little bit in pieces if you want, First of all, let me talk about my assignation as a head coach. I know Mr. President for a long time, and I had a long time already, contacts. But this negotiations for a real to come to a contract is not so long ago. So we always had a good contact. We spoke easily about football in random, without even telling me you're going to be head coach, just about the new visionary things that Mr. Tohir had. And for the rest, it came just a few weeks ago that we really talked about a concrete thing. So that's first thing that I wanted to clarify. And first question. What was your first question? Because you said you had 3 questions on behind each other.
I believe it's about the approach to Australia and Bahrain coming up at home.
Yeah,
as well.
everybody knows the importance of the games. I already said we play our 4 finals in a short period of time. So we need to make sure that everybody comes with a fresh mind to Indonesia to train well. And what I just said is that some players play more than other players. Some players need to train a little bit harder than other players. But we need to find a balance so that everybody's on the same level. Not only physically, but also in the mind, because the mind is very important. So also we are going to work on one of the most important matches. So we need to be 100% fresh in their minds and physically. And that's the most for the following games.
Untuk menjawab pertanyaan pertama, apa pertimbangan Coach Patrick untuk bisa bergabung sama timnas Indonesia dengan kapan ini terjadi sama PSSI? Coach Patrick sudah mengenal Ketua Umum PSSI Pak Erick Thohir sudah lama, tapi dari dulu mereka kalau ketemu ngobrolin sepak bola, tidak membahas apapun lah mengenai menjadi pelatih ataupun timnas. Tapi dalam waktu beberapa bulan terakhir mulai ada sedikit obrolan mengenai role ini, apakah dia tersedia dan benar-benar ada kepastian adalah dalam beberapa minggu terakhir ini. Dan mengenai approach-nya untuk hadapi Australia dan Bahrain, yang pasti seperti tadi sudah dibahas bahwa match level fitness, kesehatan dan fisik pemain ini semua akan berbeda, tapi yang paling penting adalah mindset ya dari semua pemain pas sampai untuk menghadapi Australia, yaitu match pertama di bulan Maret tanggal 20, semua pemain harus di level mindset yang sama, di mana mereka udah punya target yang jelas, apa yang mereka harus lakukan bersama, dan walaupun mungkin ada yang lebih lelah, ada yang sudah main lebih dari yang lain, yang intinya untuk Coach Patrick yang penting mindset mereka semua harus di level yang sama. Terima kasih atas pertanyaannya, karena saat ini saya harus... Terima kasih. So, sorry, Coach. Indonesian words you picked up.
Terima kasih.
Okay, there you go. All right.
The first of many. I will try and implement and do more my best to learn Indonesia. So.
Well, you've only been here 24 hours. That's already a great start for you as well. Selamat sore dan terima kasih as well to you. Thank you very much. Tepuk tangan sekali lagi untuk Coach Patrick Kluivert. Dan at this time, I would like to present you with a jersey. So. Mungkin untuk rekan-rekan media boleh ambil posisi untuk mengabadikan momen ini karena saya akan serahkan jersey-nya untuk Coach Patrick Kluivert.